Hello guys, and welcome back to another prediction. This time, as promised, I will talk about the possible box office performance of Power Rangers. As usual, let's start to talk about a thing which works in favor for the movie's performance. The very first thing I want to name is the huge popularity that the Power Rangers franchise has all over the planet. For the sheer size of the fanbase, Power Rangers is pretty much comparable to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which also received a feature film adaptation in 2014, followed by a sequel in 2016, and the 2014 movie, just named Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, grossed very close to $200 million in the domestic market and $500 million worldwide, and that with horrible reviews and very hard reactions from audiences. With this fanbase, the movie will attract at least 3 different demographic groups. Kids will rush into the cinemas to see the Power Rangers on the big screen, especially little boys. On top of that, the parents will probably join their kids when they go to the cinema, and the people who watched the Power Rangers when they were little, young adults between 22 and 30 years old, will also probably go and fill up the theater halls, when the reactions towards the movie are quite good. So, to sum it up, we have 3 demographic groups. Little kids, especially boys, adults which will go to the cinemas with their children or grandchildren, and young adults who will go to the cinema because of nostalgia. The next thing I want to name is the competition. While it seems hard for Power Rangers to compete without being dragged down by some of the releases next to it, when you look more closely, Lionsgate and Temple Hill Entertainment actually did a great job to put the Power Rangers movie in a spot where it can perform good. While the upcoming box office giant Beauty and the Beast gets released 1 week before Power Rangers, it will affect the movie by just a very small margin, if not by 0%. If, for example, Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales would open 1 week prior to Power Rangers, the movie would be affected by it big time. But Beauty and the Beast just points so directly in another direction when it comes to the audiences it wants to have, that Power Rangers is safe. On the exact same weekend that Power Rangers hits cinemas, it has to face off against Sony's Live, the new sci-fi thriller with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds in the mix. While the marketing campaign for that movie is pretty strong right now, and they even released a Super Bowl trailer a few weeks ago, which is unusual for a movie like that, all things right now are pointing towards a very weak first weekend, with Power Rangers clearly winning the box office crown. So, this title is also not in the way of Power Rangers. The only movie which could be a problem is probably Ghost in the Shell, which will be released on the second weekend of Power Rangers run. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that the American adaptation of the Japan cyberpunk classic can really make big waves at the box office, when the quality is good. At the moment, all things are pointing towards a first weekend gross of Ghost in the Shell, which will exceed the first weekend gross of Power Rangers. But, all in all, I don't see that just this one title will be a great competition for Power Rangers. At the end, the competition is not hard for the movie. Now, let's continue with everything which works not in favor for a good box office performance. The reactions towards the material released so far have been mediocre at best. Most people are not so sure if the movie will fulfill their expectations, and while the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has shown that bad reviews are not always a reason for a bad box office performance, the second one has shown that for sure, with a gross which declined over 50% from the first movie. On top of that, Power Rangers sits on a budget of around $125 million. With additional marketing costs of let's say $50 million, Power Rangers had to gross $350 million worldwide to break even with the overall costs. $350 million would be $140 million lower than what the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles grossed, but over $100 million more than what the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles grossed. So, Lionsgate is definitely taking some risks by producing Power Rangers on such a high budget. The last thing that I want to name is the cast. While Bryan Cranston is not someone who has zero effect on the box office performance, no actor or actress from the cast of the movie really brings the people out to go to the cinemas just because of his or her name. It would be really great for the movie to have someone, but very unfortunately, that's not the case. I will now fade in all aspects that I just counted which work in favor or not in favor for a good box office performance of the movie, and I will now start with the pessimistic prediction on Power Rangers. When the movie receives reviews and audience reactions comparable to the last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers will fall short of the break-even point. Power Rangers would open with $30 million and after a multiplier of 3.1 would finish with a domestic total of $93 million. On the overseas front, the movie would perform a little better but still not good enough to make up the room that the poor domestic performance opened. With an overseas total of $140 million, Power Rangers would end its performance with a worldwide gross of $233 million. With that being said, Lionsgate would lose lots of money on the project and a sequel would be absolutely dead and out of the question. Now let's continue with the realistic prediction. When Power Rangers is actually quite good and can also attract the third demographic group, the young adults, then everything looks a little bit better for the movie. Power Rangers would open with $40 million and after a multiplier of 3.3 would finish with $132 million in the domestic market. Due to a way better performance overseas, with a collected total of $220 million, Power Rangers would finish with a worldwide gross of $352 million. While not great, this amount of money would be enough to break even with the overall cost spent, and the home media sales would bring the project to a little bit of profit. Now let's finish with the optimistic prediction. When everything falls into perfect place for the movie, I expect Power Rangers to beat Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2014. In this scenario, Power Rangers will open with $50 million and after a multiplier of 3.7 will finish its performance with a domestic total of $185 million. On the overseas front, Power Rangers will shine with a total of $340 million. Combined, this will put the movie at $525 million worldwide. Lionsgate would consider this project to be a great success financially, and the sequel would be 100% safe for the future. The next video will be a prediction about Beauty and the Beast or The Mummy. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, it really means a lot to me. When you like this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, since it would really help out this channel big time. Also, leave a comment when you want to discuss this topic with me more in detail, and be sure to check out G.O.B.O Box Office on Twitter and Facebook. See you soon, guys, more videos to come. Bye bye.